of the ABA channel, the American Basketball Association. We have a league set up, and we have taken all 30 teams, and we have their contracts and draft assets and their stats, and we've set up a season with the schedule. We have rotations and a full roster for the entire season. We made cuts, we've done extensions, everything. Now we're finally ready to start a season the way we wanted it to. And the way that we're going to be processing games is through 2K. 2K, we have a MyLeague. This is a long process, and today I'm going to show how MyLeague will be used. All of the settings will be integrated so that we can run this league year to year, game to game, as 2K19, 2K20, and so on. And we're starting with 2K18 because this is the 2018 season that we're starting with. So first, what I've done is created a MyLeague. I'll call the one that we would be using main. And we're using MyLeague instead of a season or GM because we want to have control of all 30 teams. And we want the contracts because we want this to influence real life, and we're not just managing a season. We want to treat this as it's going to be an actual association, but without the GM restrictions. Okay, so I have, as you can see on the top right, taken all 30 teams. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I have all 30 teams that we're managing. Let's go to the options, and we'll go to the main league settings. Okay, so hopefully this mimics how the setup works. Autosave, absolutely, we don't want to lose any progress that has been made. 12-minute quarters, simulation, most important. You don't need to simulate, you don't need to normalize stats because all the games are going to be simulated. No expansion, don't even worry about protected players. No fatigue game to game because these are independent games that we're managing. No chemistry, we don't want any of that. Externalities, we just want to play the game as is. No rule changes for sure. Trade logic, absolutely a trade deadline to keep it realistic. Recently signed restriction, no, we don't want to have that restriction. That would overcomplicate things. We'll be fair. If we sign someone, we're probably just going to want to keep them. Recently traded restriction, that is also going to be disabled. We want to do free trades up until the deadline. No rookie signing restriction. We don't care about that. We'll probably end up trading rookies. The league is very complicated in itself. We'll have stipend rules. No first-round picks traded in consecutive years to make the teams better, rebuilding teams better. No trade. There's not going to be trades from the computers. No override, and we're not going to process a trade we don't want because we have all 30 teams. Financial trade rules. No, we understand. We have a different contract system. There will be no computer trade offers. There's no computer managers. Injuries, absolutely off. We already have account for injuries. We're going to create them ourselves. When we just sit players, no progression during the season. The players are already progressed to the full end of season peak because 2K18 is updated and we started this league after the season. Very important. The MyLeague should be made once the season ends to get the players at the very end of the full year. Difficulty, we don't care. We're not going to be playing these games. There's not going to be any morale to worry about. And the draft class doesn't matter. This is a one-year season. Automation. All user teams, of course. Combine doesn't matter. We're not playing with those guys. Game participation, absolutely manual. You want every single one. Just to be careful. Pre-draft workout, scouting, don't need that. Auto staff management doesn't matter. We need to manually set the lineups before all games. Injuries, there will be no injuries. Trades, we're doing all that manually. Signings, for free agents, of course, we'll do that manually. We don't want our roster's getting messed up that we've loaded. Contract extensions manual, waivers manual, call-ups, there's not going to be any call-ups. Draft manual, team options options are manual. Player waivers. Yeah, it's manual. No one's going to be cut. We don't think, at least. And even if they are, we'll have their own system. No off-season. We'll fill the rosters. Trade target, target list, and trade block. That's fine. I don't mind that being automated. And untouchables. I want to see what the computer can actually come up with that might be better for us. I don't really care about that, even though computers won't monitor trades. It's just interesting. Position settings, don't care. We're using 2K's position settings, not doing all that research through Basketball Reference to find who played what position and for how long. That's just too lengthy of a process. Just use 2K because they know what they played that year. Settings. This is more about game, and the settings are going to be traditional basketball. We're not even playing these games, so this stuff doesn't really matter. Sliders won't matter unless we're playing the game. Coach settings, timeouts automated. Substitution method, rotation, not fatigue. And we have rotations that are automated by the game. They're going to manage the game the best they can so that all teams have a fair chance of winning. Offensive, defensive play calling, late game fouling, etc. Ticker settings. I haven't actually looked at this, but I assume... Let's go through this now. So ticker speed, medium is fair, all-star voting sure, power ranking sure, big boards no. That's gonna be draft. This draft stuff I don't want, because the 2K, so whoever uploaded the draft class obviously doesn't know how the draft turns out. Game results, of course. Oh, actually, yeah, I'll be turning the ticker off so that they don't spoil anything, to be honest, but I'm okay with all this. Injuries now, rumors now, social media now. That's fine. I just want it to be treated like a league. Controller settings for the game. Don't care. Okay, so now we're going to save that. Onto the main. See, it's loading in the bottom right. Looks like it's taking a while. Oh, it wasn't. It was just me. Save as. Definitely back up a league. So I will back it up once. And I will back it up again, just in case. And that one in the middle is just me fucking around with the teams. So what else did we have to do? Well, the way it worked to set up the teams is year to year. It would just be so much easier. You don't have to worry about trades and free agents and everything. Just do a fixed draft so that you can set up the rosters very easily, just managing the Excel spreadsheet. So I think it would be best if you set the order in alphabetical of city. The team's going to want to do, the game's going to want to do it by teams, which messes you up. So just have it set up so that it's Atlanta, Boston, Brooklyn, Charlotte, Chicago, Cleveland, Dallas, etc. in that order. And then you'll just run through the Excel spreadsheet, loading all of the picks in one by one. It's a 14-round draft. Teams are going to have 15 players that they're going to be playing during the season. And you will add them as free agents, as you can see. I added all these 15th guys. The contracts do not matter. Yes, the rosters are mostly going to... The rule in our league is that we have at the most 16 players, and you can have one player on IR. And if they're on IR, they don't count towards the rotation. Okay. So then, a very important part, how you manage week to week. I mean, the way our league works is we set rotations to fill out the roster so that they can complete a season. by game planning, and it mimics what this will look like. And of course, you're going to click all teams. So we have built these rotations to the league, and all the rosters are inputted here, and you just have to adjust the sliders. It looks exactly like this. So whatever minutes you allocate to a player, you just do it here, and you set your lineup. That's gonna happen. We're gonna process this week to week, not game to game. Week to week is so much easier to manage. So for this week, this is what the lineups look like for the 76ers. That's loaded, and then you're gonna have to go through every single team and just do it. Take breaks. The rest of the stuff doesn't matter. Let that be on the coach, because the coach knows the players. Don't worry about scoring options. It's very balanced. And you can see it this way, how with each team we've just uploaded the game plan so that you can manage how many minutes. And of course, there's going to be 48 minutes allocated to each position. I forget what the number is, but that's the total minutes remaining for the entire team. Don't worry about rotations. So you can manage the rosters here, see what all the teams are. Okay, you can do that. Trade Finder is interesting, because you can just click a player and see what the computer teams suggest we should actually make. Interesting stuff like this. That's a very interesting trade. See, I wouldn't even think of that. That's a very interesting move. So that's a very cool option, actually. I didn't even think of that. If you're debating a trade, you should look through that. Contract extensions. We're not going to have control over this in the game, but it doesn't really matter. It's a one-year season. All free agents are here. Free agents, which is a good point. You don't want to have the IR players on your roster. It'll just mess you up. So Kawhi Leonard on IR, Gordon Hayward IR, Mike Conley IR, Lynn, Curry IR. Just leave them as free agents. They won't get signed. Player contracts. Cool. You can see all the salary holds. This is what we used. We used 2K right here to see what all the salary tables are actually based on, because they have the realistic numbers. They have the exact numbers. So we just took them from here. Year to year, you won't have to take in the contracts year to year for all the players, because we're running it from 2018 on, and the contracts are existing years after that. And then once you come up with a new contract, you just add it yourself. And the only thing that we would probably need from the game or any other website is what are the rookie scales, so that we can mimic. We can't really figure that out on our own unless we really tried. There's no training, I don't believe. Maybe they go up and down, I don't know. But this is the best we can do. There's gonna be no relocation. And so yeah, so what we would do is this. So the 17th was a Tuesday. All the games are going to be managed up to Sunday. We're going to be simulating through Sundays. So for the first day, you can see that there's 2 games. We're going to simulate games up to here, up to Sundays, through Sundays, up to Mondays, through Sundays, into Mondays each week, and just manage it. And that's how we'd be able to just run through here. We would simulate all those games automatically, and then we would just be able to view the box scores. And we will run through box scores day by day. And then at the end we can look over here, the really cool part, standings. It'll have standings, conference, division, Very cool. Power rankings it'll even have. I don't want to look at that because it'll... I mean, are they going to be just like... Yes, these power rankings are basically... I mean, we didn't have any control over these because the Bulls are much worse. And Utah's probably much better. And Denver's probably much better. And the Bucks are probably a lot better. Yeah, so anyway, like... That's not updated yet. And then we can see stats. Rookie report is very cool. All these guys are rookies. This is 2017, the day in the league. October. And I forget all these guys are rookies. It's unbelievable. This is the 2018 season. I forget. So in our league as of this moment, recording this video, Mitchell hasn't played, Fox hasn't played, Tatum hasn't played, Simmons hasn't played, Markkanen hasn't played. Who else we got? Kuzma and Ball haven't played games yet. Bam Adebayo, Dennis Smith. There's got to be bigger ones in here. Josh Jackson, I mean, a little bit. No. Okay, those are the biggest ones. So... Oh yeah, Ben Simmons is throwing me off. Fultz, I don't know will play much, but... Tatum, Mitchell. Yeah, I'm rambling. Player stats, league leaders. These will help us manage our teams. G League. None of these guys are on our rosters, and we don't care for them because they weren't good enough anyway. It's not like their G League play is going to improve. That is how you set up the ABA in 2K. And my next video will be looking at all of the teams and how they are previewed before the season, just to reinforce all that we've built and remind ourselves of, you know, what we've organized for all the teams, what we should expect, what I expect at least, predictions, etc. will be in the next video. Quick run through of all 30 teams. And that is this video. So those are the settings. I'm out.